Hello, my name is Robin. I'm an average climber, and this is an introduction to Hampi from an average climber's perspective. So on the 1st of January, I left Stockholm, and on the 6th, I arrived in Hampi, India. I've now been here for 2 weeks. Hampi is a village in Karnataka, India. I've heard that the rocks here that we're climbing on are half the age of the earth, which is kind of like this feeling as you're climbing them. But besides the bouldering, there are over 500 monuments, ruins and temples. And today it's a tourist place, a historical spot, a religious center, and bouldering paradise. The nearest city from Hampi is Bangalore, I think. And you can get to Hospet from Bangalore by bus or train, which takes between 5 and 8 hours. From Hospet to Hampi, you can go either by a rickshaw or by bus. After you get off, you will arrive at a place called Hampi Bazaar, which is on one side of the island, and then there's a river between it. There's a ferry that can take you over the river, which is what I would recommend if you have a big backpack. But once you're kind of over the river, you can leave your stuff there and you can be there all the time. And if you want to go back, you can kind of just skip rocks or just walk across the river. And Hampi Island is kind of the main bouldering area where all the climbers stay, but you can access everything from there. Everything's kind of within a walking distance reach. Walking distance reach. English is perfect. I personally went here for the boulders, but I'd say it's 60-40 tourist climber ratio still. Nevertheless, this is a bouldering paradise. Boulders as far as the eye can see. At the moment there are around 650-ish problems on 27 crags, but I'm assuming that's kind of about half the problems that are actually here. The rock here is very sharp, and it's almost only made on small sharp crimps. So as a first-time visitor like me, it took around a week to even get used to. That means a week of climbing 6As, 5s and 4s and just feeling bad about yourself. And that also means that if you're here for climbing, you need to stay at least 2 weeks or more to get kind of into the whole thing, area, boulder place. And the normal schedule is that you get up around 5:30, everything opens around 5 so you can get breakfast then, and you leave about 6:30-ish towards the boulders. And you can boulder to around 12 and then you go back because it's too hot. I mean, it's super hot. And then you have kind of nothing to do until when the sun goes down around 5-ish, people start heading out again. And it's easy to be here on your own too. There are at least 5 to 10 people going every session. So just follow the crash pads and you'll be fine. And you won't be restless even on rest days. Just because of the temples and ruins that are around Hampi, it's kind of a touristy place. And most sites are available within 1 hour distance. That's kind of a good one-day activity. So you can go swimming at the reservoir, or some people call it the waterfall. It's not. You can go monkey hunting, eat super spicy food with your hands, or feed the local puppies. Feed the local puppies. If you're staying at Go On Corner, which I personally recommend, you'll have around 5 minutes to get to the nearest boulder, and that's got a good bouldering spot. The prices here are around 200 to 300 rupees for bed on a roof with a mosquito net, and around between 500 and 1,000 rupees per night for better, more luxury accommodation. The food is between 100 and 200 rupees per meal, and it's amazing food. There's They have vegetarian alternatives and they have vegan alternatives too. And because the staff kind of speaks very good English and they kind of understand you, it's very easy to just tell them this is what I need, and they will recommend foods that are fucking bird. Make food that are kind of better for your personal need. They offer cold showers, washing facilities, and something else that I've written on my notes. Massages and toilets. And I recommend doing the squat toilets because it's just an experience that I've never had before. So a week of eating restaurant food, drinking beer every day, and renting a crash pad is around 6,000 to 8,000 rupees, which translates to around 80 to 140 euros per week. And that's like living a climbing luxury life. My personal bill ends up around 40 euros per week. And that's because I buy food at the local supermarket instead of going to the restaurants.
Vegan life.
And end line, even though you're like living luxury or not, it's super cheap. My 150 euro daily budget that I set out in my first video is getting crushed here in a good way. If getting crushed in a good way is even possible. And because there is this local supermarket, it's just 10 to 15 minutes from Going Corner, you can go crazy cheap here. They have fruits, vegetables, muesli, peanut butter, birds. And as a vegan, that serves me so well, because then I can really know what I'm getting. However, I noticed that the bread loaves that I bought contains milk solids, which sucks. My vegan powered aura has forever faded.
Vegan life.
Vegan in India isn't really that bad though. But my first or second rule of India,
Always expect the worst.
kind of applies to eating vegan food in India too. So basically after like a 10-minute conversation with like the restaurant owner about being vegan, you will still kind of have this milky sauce next to you, and they will like ask you, do you want chai or lassi after the dinner, which is not vegan. The more tourism though, the more veganism you will see. Personally, I recommend the vegan kofta, which is amazing. And I wish I could stay forever in India, but I only have 30 days on my visa. So even though I adore this place, I will have to move on pretty soon. My next adventure will be on a 2-day train trip to Rajasthan. After that, I'll go to New Delhi. After that, I'm off to Thailand. So to see me full of anxiety, claustrophobic, socially awkward, introvert Swede on a Darjeeling limited inspired train trip for 2 days, subscribe. It'll be great.